Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I hope you are well and good right now. I am Mickey Vanessa Shooting, your teacher for reading and writing skills. Welcome to our class for the fourth quarter, first week. Today, we will be discussing about hypertext. Reading and writing does not only mean perceiving the world around us. The process of perceiving embodies the relationship of a text and another text. Likewise, it deals with reading from the viewpoint of a research questions and activity, using what you read to develop your own analysis and argumentation and eventually collect materials that you can use in your own writing. Reading and writing goes beyond finding the leakage of the evidence and corresponding text and identifying and interpreting possible uncertainties and flaws in the reasoning of the author. It also means understanding that texts are always developed with a certain context. Thus, its meaning and interpretation are affected by a given set of circumstances. Moreover, reading now involves a relatively new way of reading a text online as brought with the advent of the internet and technology. Today, let us practice our reading skills as we discuss hypertext. In the previous lesson, we have learned that organization, coherence, and cohesion, language use, and mechanics play a very significant role in developing a well-written text. Having unity in writing helps the reader to easily understand what the text is about without having to read it. Language use enables writers to communicate ideas effectively without confusing the reader. An effective language is specific, concise, familiar, correct, and in appropriate levels. Mechanics refers to the rules of the written language such as capitalization, punctuations, spelling, and even grammar. Having a well-written text makes it easier for you to express your work to the readers. After learning properties of a well-written text, it is important to connect it to hypertext so that it will be easier for you to use connection to other locations that you may find interesting and useful with your readings. What is hypertext? Hypertext is a non-linear way to present information and is usually accomplished using links. Such links help the readers navigate further information about the topic being discussed and also lead to other links that can direct the readers to various options. Hypertext also allows the readers to create their own meaning out of the material given to them and learn better associatively. Hypertext is a text given displayed on a computer display or other electronic device with references to other text that the reader can immediately access. Hypertext documents are interconnected by hyperlinks, which are typically activated by a mouse click, key press set, or by touching the screen, rather than remaining static like traditional text. Hypertext makes a dynamic organization of information possible through links and connection. It is called hyperlink. The World Wide Web, or WWW, is a global hypertext system of information residing in several links across the Internet. Hypertext is the foundation of the World Wide Web, enabling users to click on links to obtain more information on a subsequent page on the same site or from website anywhere in the world. The term hypertext was coined by Ted Nelson in 1963. Example: if a reader still needs more background on a particular item that a text is discussing, such as when the reader does not know a particular term being used, the reader can choose to highlight the term and access a page that defines the term and describes it. Conversely, a uniform resource locator URL, locally termed a World Web address, is a reference to web resource that specifies its location in a computer network and the mechanism for retrieving it. URLs occurs most commonly to reference web page HTTP, but also used for the file transfer, email mail to, database access, and many other applications. Why hypertext? In a hypertext system, the reader is free to navigate information by exploring the connection provided. Hypertext is a very different way of presenting information than the usual linear form. Text no longer flows in a straight line through a book. Instead, it is broken down into many smaller units, lectures, to borrow a term from literary criticism, each addressing a few issues. It acts as a bridge between two basic, opposite, and complementing elements that may call gender of knowledge representation free and shortcut. Intertext. Intertextuality, or intertext, is one method of text development that enables the author to make another text based on other text. It happens when some properties of an original text are incorporated in the text that is created by another author. One good person, why it occurs in perhaps the second writer is greatly affected or influenced by the first writer, leading to a combination of imitation and correction. Intertext defined. Intertext, or intertextuality, is technically defined as a process of text development that merge two or more processes such as imitation and creation in doing a text. It involves imitation because the author, as highly influenced by the other author, comes up with his own version of the text, consciously or unconsciously incorporating the style and other characteristics of the text done by the author. Elaboration and intertextuality. Intertextuality has rooted from the work of Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure, 1857 to 1913. Meanwhile, the term itself was first used by Bulgarian French philosopher and psychoanalyst Julia Kristeva in 1960. Intertextuality is said to take place using four specific methods, namely retelling, quotation, and allusion. Elaborating intertextuality. Retelling. It is the restatement of a story or re-expression of a narrative. Quotation. It is the method of directly lifting the exact statement or set of words from a text another author has made. Allusion. In this method, a writer or speaker explicitly or implicitly pertains one idea or passage found in other texts without the use of quotation. Pastiche. It is a text developed in a way that it copies the style or other properties of another text without making fun of it, unlike in parody. Intertextuality is the way that one text influences another. It is the modeling of a text meaning by another text. It is defined as the connection intent before language, image, character, themes, or subjects depending on their similarities in language, genre, or discourse. A text contains many layers of accumulated cultural, historical, and social knowledge which continually adds to and affect one another. The definition of intertextuality was created by the French semantician Julia Kristeva in 1960. She created the term from the Latin word intertextu, which means to intermingle while waving. Kristeva argued that all works of literature being produced contemporarily are intertextual with works that came before it. This view recognized that the text is always influenced by previous texts. It means that any text can be considered of a work or intertextuality because it builds on the structures that existed before it. The function and effectiveness of intertextuality can often depend quite a bit on the reader's prior knowledge and understanding before reading the secondary text. Parodies, and allusion depend on the reader knowing what is being parodied or alluded to. What is parody? The term parody, pronounced parody, is derived from the Greek phrase parodia, which referred to a type of poem which imitated the style of epic poems that packed mockery and light comedy. A parody is an imitation of a writer, artist, subject, or genre in such a way as to make fun or comment on the original work. It can be used in everyday life as well as by authors, celebrities, politicians, and cultural commentators. Parody mimics a subject directly to produce a comical effect. It is an often exaggerated in the way it imitates the original in order to produce a humorous effect. Parody, as imitation, is sometimes exaggerated for comic effect. Parody is poking fun at something in hopes the audience will find it amusing. But first, the audience must make the connection between the parody and the subject topic being parodied. What is allusion? Allusion is a brief and indirect reference to a person, place, thing, or idea of historical, cultural, literary, or political significance. It does not describe in detail the person or thing to which it refers. It is just passing comment. The writer expects the readers to possess enough knowledge to spot the allusion and grasp its importance in a text. Example, you make a literary allusion the moment you say, I do not approve of this quixotic idea. Quixotic means stupid and impractical, derived from the Cervantes than a story of a foolish knight and his misadventures. What is the importance of using allusion? Allusion in writing helps the reader to visualize what's happening by evoking a mental pictures. But the readers must be aware of the allusion and must be familiar with what is alluded to. Example, don't act like a Romeo in front of her. Romeo is a reference to Shakespeare, Romeo, a passionate lover of Juliet, in Romeo and Juliet. That's all? Any questions? Additions, clarifications? So if you don't have any questions, please proceed or open your learning path to answer your activity at www.gaitf.com or contact or call me at 0926 29 Thank you and God bless.